Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Tyler, your host of the Immersive podcast, and we have another special guest today, Mr. John Baxter. He is the CEO of Anti-Aging Bed, which they have actually won some pretty prestigious awards for health technologies and things of that nature. They do med beds, and we'll talk a little bit more about what his companies do. John, I'm really happy to see you here today. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. I feel honored to be on your show. I've been watching you for a little while. Caught you on Instagram, so I see some of the things you're talking about, and I think we're just our like-mindedness is. I'm thinking that this is going to be a really good chat that we have today.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, a little background for the viewers. John and I are both Floridians. His company's based. You're based in Orlando, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
You,
So I live in Tampa, and we connected. I don't know, sometime in the last year or so, just on Instagram. So it's really cool to finally be sitting down and having this conversation and dive into some stuff a little deeper. And of course, always just want to shout out our affiliate sponsors as we are forever grateful to them. Galactic Federation of Light Clothing. Link is always in the bio. Usually I'm wearing something of theirs, so you've probably gotten used to seeing their clothing if you watch this show. And if you use the code Tyler33 when you click on their link, you get a free hat. Actually, I'm not wearing the hat at the moment, but it looks just like this. It's got the GFL logo and such on it. Few colors, put it in the cart, Tyler33, and the hat's free. And one more, of course, Unified TV. That's Jason Shirka's network. We appreciate that network. I appreciate that network. I don't really watch a whole lot of mainstream news. I always refer to Unified as kind of the network of truth. At the moment, they're putting out a lot of risque stuff that people need to hear. So keep it short, but link in the bio for a free trial. And there's a discount on a year subscription. And with the year subscription, you get free access to all the live events. So that's kind of cool there. Anyway, happy to be here with Mr. Baxter and happy to be back on camera. And I'm coming from New Hampshire today. Moving studio. We are no longer in Tampa, folks. We're on a quote unquote podcast tour. So, John, happy to see you here. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with Anti-Aging Bed. What's the latest and greatest? What are you most excited about right now?
well, I feel like we've been in what you call creative mode, creating products for a long time. We have over 70 products. So to wrap your head around each product, how it works, and then come up with your own products at this level. So all the products are under our umbrella anti-aging bed. And really, it's a philosophy toward health. And so there's no end and there's no, we do have a beginning, but there's no end into technology. As fast as
Of course.
technology is moving today with AI, we already knew every 3 or 5 years a lot of stuff becomes somewhat obsolete or outdated. So we've been through this. As of today, I feel like we're one of the most cutting edge companies in the world. And like you were saying earlier, we're chosen by Bloomberg as the world's greatest health technology 2024. This is due to us going to many sponsored, high level sponsorships, and they took the top 14 out of what was existing anti-aging medicine, biohacking, biotech, and a bunch of other types of industries. I
Okay.
went through 3 interviews, and they chose me with they said it was a landslide. So we actually they filmed the video that did the documentary. It is on our website, but it's pretty cool because it shows the span of like where we started, which is grounding. 20 plus years as a mattress industry innovator. Over the last 20 years, I might be one of the more prominent innovators in the mattress industry. And starting with the zero gravity position back in 2000, after I
Okay.
broke my neck. So broke my neck as a martial artist when I was young, and it became my pain to purpose story and my mission in life. I healed it on my own. They said I would never do it, and this happened when I was 20 years old. I'm 47 now. I have all those years of creating these advanced technology to help myself,
Yeah.
and so I was able to compile this. And the beautiful thing I can say about what we really have is We have like one of the only accountable systems in healthcare. So when the time you see what we have, everything is can be measured and monitored, and there's no pseudoscience. We had to make a leap in understanding to know that some of the pseudoscience stuff doesn't mean it doesn't work. It's good. It raises energy, but
Of
there
course.
can never be a scientific understanding.
It's where we get data,
Yeah,
certain
and so
things.
we have all the data now, and we can show anyone's, beginning, when they started with us, and, anytime, it's real time, we can, quantify what went on internally within the body. We can zone in on any area, we could add frequencies, and, this is what makes this futuristic healthcare to even assume a med bed. You can't have pseudoscience in your products. And also you have to be able to measure and monitor the entire experience. So that's what I set out to do.
Very well said. That's exactly why I'm so excited to be talking to you today. What a beautiful answer, John. And yeah, what you're doing is it's very altruistic, and of course, people will go. And by the way, I want to let everybody know that the links to any of what John's talking about, anything that we're mentioning here, the link's going to be in the bio there. So if you want to check out that website, if you're interested in seeing that documentary, that short film, anything that we've mentioned so far, anything that comes up, it'll all be linked in the bio. So of
Yeah,
course.
there's a Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid actually chose me as the future wellness. He actually narrated the video, and
Oh, okay.
I have a Dennis Quaid future wellness documentary about me, and I
Yeah,
was blown away. I was like, are you really? Are you guys really reaching out to us?"
those little moments.
Yeah, I was like, yes, yes, lots of great stuff, a lot of good videos, and anywhere from we do a lot of little documentaries, and some are catching, some are not. But I'm really not the guy to reach out too much. I've been in
You're in the lab. Yeah, that's that's why I personally found interest, just in you as a human, as an individual. On Instagram, even before doing a podcast or looking for people to interview, like I said, you and I had been connected. I'd been looking, we had spoken about, and I'd still love to do so, come out to the clinic in Orlando and see what you guys have, with my own eyes, and maybe get a little bit of footage and do a little bit of promotion for you. Nothing with any strings. Just
yeah,
show the people a little bit of like what you've really got going on for people who can't make it there in person or might just want to see a little bit more about what this stuff really means. Um, and it's interesting. Somebody I see, a friend of mine, her name is Roxanne, Pete and Roxy, and they've actually done a few films recently. They won 3 awards at the Cannes Film Festival this past year. So they're actually making some waves, and they're associated with Unified TV as well. That's something I keep seeing out of their content is med beds. They're educating people about med beds. They're using it med beds, and they live in Australia. So it got me thinking. I was like, huh, I wonder if you know medbed tech, or for example, is bigger in say Australia, Japan, South Korea, wherever. I've seen videos of NICUs where they're walking around playing frequencies, to cure sick infants and stuff like that. Which it's hard to know and discern what's really true on the internet. That's why
yeah,
it's really cool to come across someone who's seemingly like this is happening in Orlando, Florida. This is undeniable. It's real. And congratulations, by the way, Bloomberg. I mean,
thank
for
you.
anybody who doesn't know, is a major publication. So for Bloomberg to say that you have the number one tech in the anti-aging and med arena is no small, uh,
Yeah, exactly.
congratulations. It's no small feat. Um, Maybe not so many people were involved in the industry, 20 years ago when you were even 20 years ago, you were
Push
in the
in
thick
this
of it.
direction, yeah. Going this direction, yeah. I will never
But
give
it's
up. I know that, and I love what I do. We've done goodwill, likes that no one's really ever seen before. I've helped over 6,000 people. Like, our company went viral many times. Each time we had a breakthrough, we went viral.
yeah,
But over 6,000 people we took on. I took the responsibility to showcase them all of our technology and educate them. And we have thousands and thousands of testimonials and people like it's not really a miracle anymore to do a 30, 60, 90 day with cancer with a no detectable reading, right? And so
Of
this
course.
technology goes toward that. And if you want to learn more too, if you click on the link, you can get a free ebook, one of the books I came out with called The Medbed Story and Human Suffering. And so I break it down of how I got here. So a lot of people know me as one of the leading pioneers, if not the first pioneer of medbed technology here in the US. And from there, I took a lot of scrutiny, criticism, but I always said the only reason why I'm talking about it is to hopefully military med beds will come out. And so the beautiful thing is, I've never claimed a military med bed. I'm a citizen. And if you give any entrepreneur, innovator, a guy that's just good at problem solving,
Right.
that's where I hang out. So I wanted to make sure that my story, of understanding all the stuff that I've learned over the years, that if there's someone that knows more about this, I'd love to have a conversation on a podcast. Let's talk about MedBed because if anything, I'm trying to be not only show you like I'd like to show you just a really quick walkthrough maybe today, but also show the realization of how this could influence and be the future of
Yeah.
our medical system, applying this to there. And from there, by inspiring people working together, things change. AI, I didn't release the AI. AI is already here.
It
AI
changes
is
every day. It's
the
crazy to keep up with.
so the future is super bright and it's in our own fingertips. It's not in the hands of someone else that's oppressing us. That's what some of my message is. It's you.
It's us. We're in
You
it
nailed
together.
it, man.
I always say, there's a lot. People say they. Okay. Well, let's assume there's a they. There's a lot more of us than there is them. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah,
uh, let the rest shake out. I have faith. I see people like yourself doing what you're doing. I can't imagine the amount of hours researching, just on the drawing board, just reading and going through and trial and error and hypothesis and failure and just so many things that somebody like yourself has had to go through to get even just to get the technology discovered, the science hammered out, the trials, the data. But even before that, you mentioned, doing this 20 years ago when, yeah, the word let's go back exactly 20 years, and it's July 15th, 2004. If you're talking about med beds and anti-aging tech, I imagine there's a little criticism that
yeah.
comes from that.
It's
It's not something
crazy. Yeah, you're
like a
crazy.
little bit woo woo
Yeah.
association, which
I
isn't
took
the
the
case.
heat in the pseudoscience, and that's why it's actually forced me to be this person to actually be the first. I believe I am the first in so many things, and it was just due to, having the understanding. I believe God's been around in my presence all around to get me to this level. There's a big, big story that I can't even say, but I've at the highest levels I've done stuff, and basically this passion that I have over 20 years. Put a timeline on it. I feel like I can do so much in a very short amount of time, but this is a 7 day a week endeavor for many, many, like let's say a couple decades. So
Yeah,
this is the passion I have about it, and that's why, as the guy that put it all together, there's so many little intricate things that I know to how to make this an amazing, successful technology in the world.
yeah, you can sense it, my friend. You can absolutely sense it that you're coming from a place of legitimacy, of altruism, of good intention, and that you've really put the time and the study into this. I mean, people don't spend their half of their life doing something that at the beginning doesn't have a whole lot of cheerleading going on.
There's none, and it's a
Unless there's some
dire,
fiction.
situation. You are the motor that keeps your, goals, missions, purposes going, and for me, there wasn't no options. So, when there's no options
Absolute.
and you take that out of the equation, it's just you and, God basically, I've actually sacrificed so much just with family time and relationships. I realize it all the time. I chose this path, and I wouldn't wanna do anything else, but, I've had relationships suffer, uh, don't spend as much time with my family as the normal guy, but, they realize my sacrifice and, the thing is I think I've, made a lap. I've got a lap down. It took a long time, but the lap that we've got is a very amazing lap, and with, all the stuff pioneering, I guess, a med technology, which is what does that mean? Well, really, I believe it's up into the frequency realm of technologies, and when we talk about a bed, every company that I've ever created in this thing was called bed. I
Right.
can rattle off zero gravity bed, and,
Which is just like
you know
I have a bed that, moves and I can press zero gravity and yeah, it takes some pressure off my lower back. Like it's pretty simple. It's mechanical. But I didn't
that's
come up
where it
with that.
started. I had a mentor, he sold the first adjustable bed in Florida in 1960. His son was my first mentor after I broke my neck. And it was a product specialty company, and they said I acted just like the father. So, I started there in college, and I quickly became doing this on, e-commerce, and back in the early, like, 2000s, and so I've always been the bed guy. Everyone knew me as the bed guy.
But
One
more from the science end of it, like the science of sleeping, getting better sleep. I mean, like zero gravity, of course, it's good on the spine. It's low impact. I'm not talking bad about it. Just, of course, there's more to your tech than zero gravity beds, but I mean, even that's done a lot of good for a lot of people.
Yeah, and well, I broke my neck, I refused the surgery, so they thought I was crazy already. My mother had surgery, my dad had good insurance, so my mom was getting, all this medical procedures, and then they're like, "Oops, that wasn't right," and so when I broke my neck shortly after my mom had all these surgeries, I was saying, "No." They were like, "I am not doing that surgery." They're like, "But you can't even move," you know? But I was like, "Look, I don't care." I was a stubborn kid, I was a fighter, that's how it happened too. So
I
I
can
was a 35-year martial artist, and, I love the art. I love art, and I could always, utilize my power of focus and intention to create awesome art, and so I even created, my own freestyle tai chi after many, many, decades of being in this, uh, realm, and I believe, at my 47,
very cool.
there's a martial side to martial arts, and there's an energy side, and,
100%.
I don't sharpen my sword to get to cut people's necks off every day. What I'm doing is I'm sharpening my own skills and tools and my own instrument to become better.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
I've
heard
heard
that.
that.
I'm butchering the quote, but it's something to the effect of the best men are those who know how to use their sword, but know how and when to keep it sheathed, which is most of the time. It's
Yeah,
something to that
pretty
effect.
much the whole time.
Like, there's not a whole lot. Yeah, exactly. There's not a whole lot of honor in having no concept of what it is to do bad or to go outside the lines, and therefore just following the rules. I mean, okay, that's fine, but those among us who have the ability to, maybe make waves for bad, for
Oh,
we
yeah.
could cause some we could cause some damage, just theoretically speaking. But having that ability, in the case of necessity for protection, for just in the case of any necessity, for inner peace, for self strength, for self esteem, all of those things that you've certainly learned throughout your training in martial arts. It's so important to have that strength about oneself, and I think it's great to hear you say that, and it's funny. I'm not trying to pace you, but we've got quite a bit in common. I had a neck break incident myself in my early to mid 20s. And I was in a brace for like 6 months, and it was supposed to be surgery, but I was not having surgery. I was not having neck surgery in my 20s. And yeah, I didn't need it. It ended up healing, on its own. I mean, through the exercises and the brace and everything like that. So that's kind of interesting you said that. And I also did martial arts as a kid. And then I kind of transitioned into boxing. That was kind of my thing when I got a little bit older. But yeah, similar backstory there. So the med bed stuff, simple question, but I want to touch on just for the viewer who's sitting here going, wait, what's a yeah? How would you define a med bed, an anti-aging bed? And I guess a lot of it is got to do with frequency, and so feel free to
Yeah,
incorporate that into your answer. But
yeah, I can
your
lead
view would
with
be good.
that. Yeah, I'd like to lead with that answer because there's a understanding of frequency that most people don't understand, and I was the one of the first, and I believe I'm like uh, leading in the world with frequency technology. I really do believe it, and it's because I understand what it is and how it really works. And the thing is, I wouldn't have got here without grounding. And grounding is the complementary, basically, medicine to the frequency. So if pe- if you hear of people using frequency, you need to realize that frequency is great. Some is pseudo, some is using a measurable number, but regardless, you will raise your physical energy, and raising your physical energy will alleviate some of the traumas, even the emotional pain. Feeling better will release all this stuff. And if the technology works good enough, there's almost no say. What if the technology was so powerful that it got over major trauma, right?
Right.
With just
Makes you
raising
feel
one.
good.
And if you don't have the understanding that this is amazing that I can raise someone's energy, but if you don't understand how the physical body works for these frequencies, then you could be doing damage. And that sounds crazy, but if you're using a PEMF device, that's a
Hmm.
frequency device. We've had this for many years. If you continue using it and you don't ground, you could actually have a heart attack. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but the raising of the energy is good, right? But there needs to be a balance. So
But there needs to be balance in everything. Yeah. Okay.
you
I did
need
not
the
know that.
grounding to discharge the voltage that the frequency gave you. Otherwise, you don't want to just run a flat frequency throughout your whole life. You'll actually be dull. You need a you need a whole spectrum of
Need
frequency
a spectrum.
treatment. But you
Very
also
cool.
need the ability to discharge from this so that you could sleep, reduce your brainwave patterns. So with MedBed technology, the foundation, because of where it came from, was grounding. And this is the conversation we have to have today. Is like, well,
Absolutely.
I would love to talk about the grounding in full depth of what we really created, because you're hearing grounding a lot, but I think we pushed the second generation at such a level that it became an everyday, almost like so many more people know about grounding. And there's a
Right.
lot that you need to know that because we're the only USA made grounding product. We have the future of all grounding patents. I have two US approved patents. The stuff you see online are sheets that have been recalled over 15 years ago. So you're buying a recalled product that you can't really wash, and it definitely doesn't stretch. And so because I'm the mattress guy, our
That's
grounding
great.
lasts as long as your mattress. Those grounding that you see for $99, test it in 2 or 3 weeks. It was recalled, and Chinese people still sell the stuff over here, and even
Right.
the earthing company is made out of China, the earthing brand. So
Hmm.
they haven't really dialed into it. At
I
their
believe it.
understanding, I was a betting guy. He was an engineer, and I'm close to Clint Ober. I know him, and over the years, I considered looking into his company. Basically, what my technology is USA made, it took me 60 years to create. And you think about mattress and why he couldn't create the mattress, and those Chinese the companies that make the China they can't do a mattress because you push your knee into the mattress. Think about that. If your technology can't stretch, you're basically putting out a recalled product. And so lately, my story is telling people that the Chinese grounding stuff is just, if you want to compare apples and apples, we are so far advanced in our grounding. Not only can ours be used on a mattress and be durable, last as long as your mattress, but we have a 4-in-1 technology. Plus, it's literally 5 major things that we created in our grounding technology that are patented. So the end result is we have the only durable grounding product that you can add frequencies to.
That's incredible. And yeah, of course, the term itself, grounding, has become almost chic, if you will. I saw a video of Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter. I don't know if he was joking or not, but whatever. I mean, just somebody who you wouldn't have heard saying this 10 years ago, but got to get my grounding in. He says, and he takes shoes off and he starts walking through the grass in the field. And I mean, of course, that's basic, taking your shoes off and putting your feet to the earth and grounding. That's not, I wouldn't call it technology. That's just, naturalism. But, I mean, it is, am I mistaken by calling that grounding? I mean, that is still grounding in the sense that you're speaking of it. There's just more to it with your technology.
It's more of a natural state of being, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and,
The,
so, like, basically, you can get grounding for free, and we know that the least amount of cancer in the world, is in little small villages and cities in Africa where no one wears shoes. So, it's important. We need grounding like we need oxygen and sunlight, but we've been misinformed, and also we've been misguided with our understanding of frequency, and so a lot of people haven't really crossed that bridge, and that's what we're trying to do, of course, today is educate you guys on that. And half an hour at the beach is something, but where we see the real recharge and recovery is 4+ hours each night. We have the only third party study ever done on grounding. All the studies you see with electron donation, those were done by employees
by
within the
themselves.
earthly company. I
Yeah.
had a true third party study done with grounding, and it affects your mental health, with the real time scanning technology. As soon as you ground, your vitals change. Like it's like instant. The
Yeah.
vitals on the machine change in a positive manner. So it really is amazing.
Yeah, from what I've seen of your just the samples of what you have, your tech that you've got, for example, in your clinic in Orlando. I've seen some little promos and such that you've done that were like, wow, like really wow. I think there was one you did with someone where you showed a real time. I forget, pardon me, but I forget the measure, the
Meter test.
unit that we were measuring. But it was something where she got in the bed and it was like real time reduction in a very measurable symptom or something toxic, something like that. You do stuff like that promotionally on your Instagram, which is incredible. Just that some of this stuff works so fast, it's like magic.
That's
But
what
then
it
there's
is. It's like if I want to create master healers, that's what this is for. In the past, you would use up all your energy to give someone a massage and you would do it. But today, you can take on a lot more people as a healer, work with a lot more people by putting the pressure on the technology. You understanding how to use the technology, like doctors are looking to integrate things into practice and not just give people pills, right? So this
worse.
is really the forefront, and it's like real time, just real time data with real time correction, corrective frequencies, and programs that we have where we're offering. The human genome was already mapped out. Everything's a
Mhm.
frequency. You're a frequency, and you're bioelectric as well, right?
Yep.
So if everything's a frequency, the bacteria, the mold, the good stuff and the bad stuff, our whole
They're
DNA,
the residents.
is a frequency, and okay. Think of your fingerprint as being specific to you among everyone in the world.
Hmm.
Well, that's how frequencies are found. Like these things are found, mapped out. We give them a name. Uh, for instance, Staphylococcus aureus. This
Right.
particular bacteria has a frequency, and because everything's a frequency, this is the science of how it works. All you do have to do is match frequency to dissolve illness. Match the
Yeah.
frequency of the illness to dissolve the illness, and that's really the forefront of the frequency technology.
And it's incredible because it's not like it's a new concept of matching vibrational, resonance. And you think of the tuning fork on the glass. You hit an F sharp and you get a singer to sing F sharp and it breaks the glass. I'm a musician. I actually did a goofy little science experiment back when I was in like ninth grade with a guitar and an amp, and that's why I said F sharp, because I think it was an F sharp to
Awesome.
break a glass back then, 20 years ago or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's a simple concept as far as vibration, resonance, and when you play those together, that there's an effect. It stands to reason that there would be an effect on things like tumors, cancerous tumors, etc. And I think a lot of us have seen examples of things like that. Maybe not quite at the FDA approved level here in the States yet, but we're definitely seeing stuff like that I'm seeing it in the zeitgeist, frequency coming out and actually being shown to be proven to cure certain ailments that years ago we wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. We wouldn't speak about it. And that's something that actually kind of led me down the path that I'm on now, which is, throwing charity events for holistic health and wellness education, and
I'm gonna have to
doing
check
this.
that out. I'm planning on joining you in Tampa.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Absolutely, but yeah, it's February 8th, 2025. It's a little ways away, but it's never too early to mention it. Um, Holistic Health Summit. This is the third one we'll be doing in Tampa. It's going to be bigger than the past 2 years. So for anybody who came from Instagram last year or found us through the socials, I appreciate you coming last year. I hope to see you again this year, but we'll have a bigger show, a little more food, a little more action, a few more speakers, all that fun stuff, and the price will likely be the same. So yeah, it'll be a
Oh,
good
that's
time.
nice. Yeah, I'm excited. I love that stuff, and I'm only a skip away from you guys. So
Yeah,
perfect.
absolutely. So that'll be really cool. So yeah, this frequency healing stuff, it's the talk of it's kind of the talk of my inner circle. We all tend to have these little echo chambers with social media and such these days. We have our algorithm and we see what we see, but I hear and see something about frequency healing every day, and I utilize frequency healing. I mean, I meditate. The way that I meditate is, I utilize transcendental meditation, and I usually utilize tones, just certain frequencies and certain ratios, certain scales, things like that, to kind of put me in that place. So, truth be told, I'm just trusting the platforms that I'm using to give me the sounds and things like that. Yeah, I guess I could record my own meditation music and make sure it's in a certain hertz or embedded in a certain way, but ultimately I'm kind of just trusting that, okay, this is playing this and this, and I'm going into meditation. And that's one example. And then we're seeing the resurgence of the famous Edgar Casey quote, which, frequency and vibration will be the medicine of the future. It's one I love. I do believe there's something there. But you've mentioned a few times the misunderstanding of, frequency and the way it works. And I kind of agree with you because it's something that
Oh,
we talk about.
it's proven. I can measure it. I can show you right now, right?
We all talk about it, but it's often, doesn't it feel a little bit slippery the way it's talked about in the mainstream all the time? We're all talking about it, but
We're all
nobody
talking,
quite has
jumping
a.
up to the frequency, but we don't know what we're doing with it. Honestly, and I didn't have all these people. I didn't have all the tests. I was confused as well.
Yeah.
So, but I realized with PEMF device, so like, let's say a TENS unit shock therapy, right?
Hmm.
What's above that? That's more of a direct current. What's above that? Likely equal to that, and about the same is the PEMF. There is really no frequencies being used with PEMF. It's more of a pulsating field therapy instead of a direct current. So it's really along the lines of tens units. And so
Yeah,
the frequency technology along the lines of direct current being very different but specific. And that is the some of the stuff I'd love to show you today. And like I said, with frequency, I can you can prove it on yourself. I mean, I would say don't do that. Stick any type of frequency, whether good what you appears to be good or bad. Your cell phone's frequency, but so is a crystal sitting on your nightstand.
piece of quartz. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I
what's
always
the
keep
real
with the
difference, right?
my big EMF blocking apparatus, which is kind of funny, but it's shungite.
Yeah.
It's a very cheap mineral. I don't sell it or anything like that, but I just always keep a little flat piece of shungite in my pocket with my phone because I figure, well, I gotta have my cell phone. Shungite does, it's carbon based. It's kind of a magical stone, and it's got some unique properties, and it is said to at least help block EMFs and such. So I figure,
Yeah,
what the
it's
heck?
a
It's probably
natural stone, so it's natural to this earth and it's good for you. It's connecting. It's nowhere that could be dangerous, right?
right.
But when we talk about powered frequency, this is amazing. This is playing with magic, really, in a sense
Sure,
of,
man.
yeah. And it's, with this, when you use it, you realize that it kind of is like working out. Like you're getting stronger every time you work out, like you're getting the frequencies. But if you're not properly getting the discharge and the repair, then you're kind of just living at higher voltage. If you're living in higher voltage, you're living in a place of inflammation and stress.
Yeah.
So
Um.
they're getting the good stuff, but if you do not discharge, those higher voltage metabolizes into oxidative stress.
And
What is oxidative stress? It's really static collecting in the body. And oxidative means like rusting. So this
yeah, the
sickness that
first word
you
that
have
comes
or
to mind.
injury, that's what's going on. So you need the discharge. And that the most powerful understanding that likely you ever heard in terms of frequency, because I was the first guy saying it. No one still says it, and maybe you heard it here first. But if you really care about someone's health, you want to make sure they're balanced. And you need almost the what you call the duality of the specific unified technology, right? You need the duality, you need the grounding, and you need the frequencies. If you just want to give frequencies, you can feel better, you can get better, but the reality is if you don't ground, you're basically you're feeling good for that. As long as you're feeling good, then you're feeling bad.
Yeah, that's very well put, John. That makes a lot of sense because yeah, like that's kind of what I was getting at. Was we talk so much about frequency healing and it being pretty much non-invasive, and in short, basic applications where we're playing a Tibetan bowl at the house and meditating. I mean, I'm quite sure that I'm not a doctor, but I'm quite sure that that's not invasive and it's not going to hurt anybody. But when
Yeah,
we're using charged med beds and things like
yeah,
that, using
power, power.
guided powered frequencies, of course, yeah, if it's going to be it could be massively beneficial. It could blast away a bunch of leukemia cells that have gone awry. Just for example, just totally picking an example out of the hat. But something that could do that naturally, there's a duality to everything. I mean, naturally, it would stand to reason that something like that, and we don't think of frequency healing as being invasive, but something like that, if misused or if not balanced or washed out or whatever there's all sorts of examples and analogies I could give. But yeah, without, that's not often said. So I applaud you for mentioning that and for that being your point of data and your message is that it's there's not just one side to this frequency healing stuff. It's let's really understand what we're doing. Yes, it's
Right.
good to rate
There's a lot of
people
things
think.
on the line, and if I'm taking responsibility, even though you may sign a waiver when you see me, No one's
Yeah.
been injured. It's really super safe. But as far as the care and attention, like, to understand it, we
Hmm.
don't wanna like, let's say the hyperbaric chamber, we offer this for many years, right? And so have you ever seen someone jump in a hyperbaric chamber and immediately, "I gotta get out of here. This is too much."
Yeah. I've heard people tell me that they're uncomfortable in them, but not sure why.
Yeah, it's at the level of healing that is too much for the body to handle. "Get
Okay.
me out. I'm stressed out. It's too much healing at the same time."
Like you're almost got too much healing. You needed to ground. You need to release some of that in some way. Is that
We
kind
did
of the
create the first grounded hyperbaric chamber, and it was completely revolutionary if you understand how oxygen oxidizes the body as well with too much. So there is that medium balance, and we wouldn't have got anywhere. So without my knowledge of frequencies, I wouldn't have gotten to this level. And the thing is, I have to show you how I got here with my grounding technology. I have a little demonstration.
So if you've got if you've got a demonstration or anything to show, I would love to see it. Absolutely.
Yeah, so let me show you these silver threads up close. And you
And this is
see,
one of the mats like that someone would just, for example, sleep on or lay
yeah,
on.
this is part of the bedding system, and it looks like a wide thread. It's not a
Mhm.
single thread.
Right.
So that's what was the cause of the other technology. And the other thing is this technology is stretchable. I can put
Okay.
my knee in it. It's not going to. Uh, there's almost no
Right.
level of stretch that's going to damage my threads, right? So this lasts as
Durable.
long as the mattress that you own. Not only that, it's made of silver. We have 40% of the surface area covered with silver. The Chinese products have less than 10%, and sometimes it's not even a thread that they're using. They're just putting 10% silver across the bed. Our
Right.
surface
Yeah.
area is 40%. And basically, and with that coil thread, I'm able to do this, and I'll show you in a little bit where I put my knee in the mattress and show you how important it is for a durable product. What did we really create here? A durable product that was stretchable and conductive. And not only that, the reason why we call it anti-aging bed is
Mhm.
because these are the crystal technology that at one time we had FDA approved. So we had this is far infrared. And so we have a dual
It's okay.
system grounding with far infrared. We called it anti-aging bed back when like 2012 when I started. And the combination is beautiful. It gives you the comforting effect of far infrared, the basically the biophotomodulation. This is actually for a lot of people that do the far infrared saunas, you're not going to sweat with our technology because it only works at the level of your body heat. So
Hmm.
when my body heat heats this up, I'm actually getting the red light therapy. I'm
So
getting
you're getting the benefits of an infrared sauna just from your own body heat, in essence.
and it's not this is not powered, so you're never getting more than what you can actually stave off with your own body heat. But if you put a heated blanket on this, I'm telling you, it's crazier than the far infrared sauna. If you put a heat blanket on this and this thing heats up to the level of power, I felt like light is shooting through my core.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can you could ascend into a light body or something.
Ascend
Yeah.
5D. Yeah.
So that's
Uh,
that's pretty incredible. And it's funny. We do have a lot in common. Maybe we're just in the same soul family or something. But yeah, I've always kind of wondered that, like, why do we not place more value on? Of course, I mean, anybody who follows markets and such knows silver's booming right now. Silver seems to have a lot more practical applications to me than gold does. It's kind of a leftover residual cultural thing where I don't want to make this an episode about the Anunnaki or anything like that. But there seems to be some reason why we have an obsession with gold, and why it's so valuable to us. But I mean, just from a scientific perspective, I see a lot more, if not equally as much, application and benefit with silver than I do with gold. And it's funny to see that one's 40 times the value than the other. which
Silver
is
is actually when the salamander regenerates its tail. The science shows that at 110 millivolt within the presence of the silver element, just like in the
mhm.
water, that's how the salamander regrows its tail.
So that's yeah, that's really interesting. So I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff we've been working on lately, but one of the things we were doing is I'm working with a woman named Antonia Harmon. She's from the UK. Shout out to Antonia. She's got approval for a 100-person clinical trial for the curing of post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's actually the whole basis behind. That's a lot of the basis behind what she does. It's an energetic process. It's got some EMDR components and such too, but it's a method that she's developed. But and I'm going to skip over a lot because it's in episodes that we've talked about and things. But one of the things that kind of first got her interested in all this and the electric charge of not just emotions, not just physical things, but even emotions, was the salamanders and things like that. And they started seeing that there's actually like an electrical current left over where like you chop a salamander's tail off, for example, and you look at it with the through the right lens, through the right light at the waves, you can see the electrical current where that tail was. It's just not a physical tail that's there anymore. And then, of course, we know that it regrows. Very interesting. And then I think the next level of the study was frogs. And of course, frogs don't regrow anything that we know about, but and forgive me if I'm, shortening the study a little bit or how this came to, but there was something similar with frogs where they found, okay, well, this is not a species that regenerates limbs, but we're still seeing that electric field of where the missing limb would be. It got me thinking about phantom pain and things like that. Like, oh my gosh, that makes so much
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And I mean, yeah, now it's turned into it's actually an approved. The first trial's 100 people. We already did the first group healing. It's free. It's just for it's PTSD vets and first responders. But if the first 100 goes well, then it's on to thousands. So shout out to Antonia. But what she's doing is basically trying to neutralize the charge associated with emotions and things like that, which obviously has applications in a physical sense. That's just something that I'm involved with right now, just on the promotional
It's
end.
so important because we've had people, I can account to people that literally this may hit home for some people, or just relationships or friends and deeper relationships that we've had people that were together, and that it was almost like they were having a toxic relationship, and that mental, I would guess, living with that mental issue was triggering on and off like cancer, basically. And it's tied to her emotions, which was that anger and resentment. And
Yeah,
so, yeah, like it's really fast too. Like you're not around that person anymore. Your recovery helped. So
all of
there's
a
all these
sudden,
little things that you would be very surprised with. And I'm not trying to break any relationships out there, but I'm just trying to make open a light bulb up to maybe help you with the current situation.
100%. I agree. Yeah,
But
I mean,
also, we created the first dirty electricity resistor. So you might see that little smash circle right below the
mhm,
actual metal.
yep.
There is a resistor in there, and
Okay.
it sheds off the dirty electricity, and it brings electrons into more of a single file line. So I improved this, like our if you look at our wire assembly, it's just so much different than anyone else, and it's allows us to address something that was an issue back with the early grounding. If you remember that those times, like people would say, "Hey, but every so often it can happen, and we have a safety feature with our technology. So even if a high amount of electricity shoots through here, this single file line pops the resistor, and
Okay.
so it's washable, it's breathable. And this is that stuff I wanted to cover. It's made of silver, it's antimicrobial, and not to mention USA made versus China. China
Yeah,
doesn't know how I did this because it's a 4-step manufacturing process, and I did it in the Carolinas, and I spent
and
6 years there,
it's patented.
and it's 2 times patented.
And patented, and not only patented, but clearly by yourself and your team, who is, your work speaks for itself. I want to throw out there again, Bloomberg doesn't throw out those kind of awards to everybody. If you get one of those awards, you deserve it. You did something. Number one,
World's greatest health tech.
medical technologies 2024. That's a big one.
Yeah, and it was, you
To
know,
him right now.
I appreciate that, and, I just felt like I didn't know it was I was just doing what I do, and, it's just another day, really, and it's a great accolade and award, but really what we have here is the future of healthcare in the sense from grounding to frequency. You pick whatever diet you want, but from grounding to frequency, we really do have the encyclopedia, we have the story, we have the process, we have the experience, right? And if you have this correlation, then you can actually not only use it effectively, you can train, teach, educate people, and take them to this next level, which includes believe it or not, likely the AI. And that's what we've been
And,
working on too. Is
and
the
it becomes something that somebody could turn into a passion for themselves. It could turn into something that, something changes my life. I become interested in it, and you never know what's going to happen. I mean, the way that you guys do your business, the way that you've done it all so meticulously, studied third parties, things like that over so much. I mean, the sky's really the limit because you've been patient in that way, which I commend. And also, for people listening, patents are not automatically granted just because something's original. It has to be considered pretty decent. It
my
has
third,
to be.
my third patent. I lost it, so I worked on it since 2017. So think about how long that is, right? About 7 years. I spent over $200,000, and like 2 weeks ago, they said it wasn't approved. So after all that money, time, energy spent with
It's
just something
probably
new and slightly different,
it's
they
probably a
didn't.
solid product or technology too, right? I mean, that you
I had
have
to
to
hire
say.
lawyers to fight, to try to push it, and they were like, "Nope, can't." And so, like, that's why I can make these claims about grounding because my patent superseded what you're seeing in the market. And
Yeah,
I was just gonna show you really quick is like,
show us. We'd love
yeah,
to see it.
so what we have here is the bed cover. It goes
Mhm.
around your mattress. We do have a biohacking mattress, and yes, it's called biohack. I had the trademark before biohacking was kind of really created.
So you've got the trademark biohacking. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
biohacking
really cool.
mattress is the name of the mattress inside, but you don't have to use our mattress. So this is the only grounding product that you can do this for the length of your mattress and have a still and durable grounding technology every night. And so I wanted to show that we have blankets. We have
Yeah, and you're on the full screen right now, so we can see you much bigger than me. So feel free to show us what you want to show us.
okay, yeah. I mean, this is the zero gravity system that we pioneered a long time ago. And
Mhm.
so you can put the bed cover around any mattress. So the bedding system that if you want to further your understanding of frequency technology, basically it fits any size mattress that you have. This is just a cover that you can take on and off, and then you get the pillowcases, and then the blanket. You engulf yourself with the far infrared and grounding every night. It is proven with the meter. It'll blow your mind. I can show you that. But this is
Yeah.
a very consumer grade product. This is our regen machine.
Okay.
This one has a million This is a cutting edge piece of technology.
Yep.
There's over a million frequencies I can generate with this. Over 200, or this one's 150 programs. And so by using real frequency medicine, we can address health issues. So this
Of
plugs
course.
right into the bed cover. It also comes with attachments. You can put the gloves on, the electrodes on, and you have the future, like, of a medbed consumer grade, sleep system. You got the grounding, you got the frequency, and literally, the only thing this is missing is our scanner. If you wanna
That's
have a 100% accountable system, and you can use the scanner right next to the bed, and you have a self-made kind of med bed in the comfort of your
like
own
a
home.
that's really incredible. So that device that you have there, um, does it have has the research gone into, what for you said it produces a certain number of frequencies and
Up to
such.
a 1,000,000 hertz. You can dial
Okay.
it in manually, or you can pick a program. We can actually plug in any frequency that you want into the system.
So if someone were to have a problem with, say, I don't know, just picking something out of the dark, arthritis, I don't know, say arthritis, is there like a frequency associated with these specific ailments, arthritis, back pain, maybe anxiety, whatever the ailment may be? Is that kind of the way that that works? That there's a dialed in frequency for specific symptoms and ailments?
Yeah, so there's 150 programs, and where did we get our frequencies from? What is the body of data where we took our technology to? So there's a book called the Electroherbalism Manual, 3rd
Okay.
edition. It is the last 100 plus years of frequency medicine that was data quantified to do a specific health, addressing a certain health issue with the frequency. Starting back with like rural right? All the different types of frequencies, and there's groups of frequencies by different doctors, and there's different doctors who put their life on the line to come up with these frequencies. So they're
Right.
embedded in this, and because frequencies, a lot of the health issues, what you'll find there's like one or two main frequencies that address the health issue, but we want to do a full body, full spectrum a lot of times
Yeah.
before. So each program that you pick, it has 10 frequency sets within the program. Each minute,
Okay.
it changes frequencies, and then it loops after 10 minutes. So,
Okay.
you're getting a plethora of very, beneficial frequencies that help address that major issue, and so, like I said, the
So
worst
cool.
issues to the simple issues from sleep issues, which are not
To
often
cancer.
so easy, to major medical health issues. You have it all in the comfort of your own home, and
That's
this is why
incredible.
the thing is so important, because our daily lives are so busy. Our self-care can be done before, during, and when we wake up from bed. So,
Yeah.
I'd love to show you, I'm not sure how much time we have, but I'd love to show
We
you
have as much time as you have.
a little quick tour of what we have, and because I covered grounding, then you'll understand everything. Because I told you frequencies are, complementary with grounding, now I don't mind to show you the whole little tour because, the light
It'll
bulb
make a little
will go
more
off.
sense.
Okay, I know what you created, now I understand, you know?
Yeah, no, we would love that. And as far as I'm concerned, I have all the time in the world for this. This was on my docket for today, and I was looking forward to it. So it's
Great, and I was, when I got when we started connecting, I was like, "This is perfect," and I'm so
yeah,
glad to be on this, call today with you, because I think the people that your audience is going to absorb this, and it's gonna be, just amazing, you know?
yeah, I agree. Like I think this stuff is super important, and like we've mentioned, there's a lot of the talk of the frequency stuff and resurgence of the fact that there's probably some tech that's been suppressed over the years and things like that. Not to make this another suppressed tech episode, but I've covered that.
So,
um,
this is what I understand about suppressed technology. It's what you say, it's what you gotta be careful with what you say, and if you're careful with what you say, there's really no problem in using censored technology. But if you're out there saying, "I did this, and, they did that," and they're gonna zone in on you, and before you know it, they're saying, "What are you saying again? Is that factual? Can you prove it?" Where, you gotta be super careful.
and that's the big thing these days is we have so much access to information now that we didn't before. And even your average high school student can do the clicks and do the research to see if something's at least mostly legitimate, which wasn't the case in the past. If something sounded legitimate and looked like it and seemed like it was it. But now,
Yeah, don't trust me
we we,
because, do your
we
research.
need data.
You need data for sure. And I like to pan view some of this stuff here.
Yeah, I'll put you on the larger screen here. I'm just in a little spot here on the side. But yeah, I'd love to see. Are you at your facility in Orlando right now?
Yeah, we're in one of the rooms. The room that we
Okay.
were just in is more of the retail kind of mattress room.
Okay.
But this is more of basically the wellness center station room,
Okay.
right? And we have our sound acoustic recliner here. We've got our 3-part system, that gray box right there, along with this light therapy.
Awesome.
Essentially, I can show you how it works really fast here.
And it's amazing that this stuff's all patented and legitimate, and I don't know how much pushback you received getting this stuff developed, but I do understand the nature of patents and things like that. And it's not as easy as people think to get something patented. So
Yeah, and it's hard to get across the finish line, but the first product
yeah,
that we put through was so difficult. All the rest of the stuff has been easy. So this is this bottom portion. This is the generator. Right now we're at 930 hertz. We're doing a program for endometriosis. This
okay.
is a 3-part system. You've got the light photonic frequency therapy that's
Hmm.
measured and being pushed at 914 hertz. We've got the sound, and then we got the direct current. This direct current can hook right into the bed cover, and so you could be sleeping next to your system.
So it doesn't affect your sleep or your comfort or anything like that, although it might be able to affect it in a positive way if you have sleep problems. I mean, that it's something that could probably help you with that, but you're just going about your regular sleep and treating, for in this example, endometriosis at the same time.
It's
I mean,
right.
yeah, that's close enough to magic to call it magic.
It really is, and it really is. If you're the type that wants to be like a master healer, you're basically using the tool. You're using your potential at the highest level. You're using your communication. You're using your physical energy. You're understanding the other person, and you're
Hmm.
using this technology to master. And so once you play with it enough, it's not miracles do happen. All miracles happen every day, but
Absolutely.
these are really amazing breakthroughs. And so we
Yeah.
actually have. I just wanted to do a quick scanner here. This person won't give any names, but I can show you
Yeah, of course.
like before and after. If you could see that right there, this was
Yeah,
happened.
I see the two
This is a
scans.
vertebrae. This was their worst issue, the first lumbar vertebrae
Okay.
right here. And then
Yep.
right here was the correction frequency. Red is your scan, blue is the normal, healthy, functioning frequency of that area.
Okay.
So look at within just 15 seconds of forcing the frequency in that area, there was a 13% increase in energy. And likely there's some bacteria that help remove 33% of it. So, like before and after, we measure our whole system. And so
Yeah.
we can dial it in if you had pancreatic issues.
It's
We know it. We know what you ate today.
right. Yeah, that's
It's
incredible.
awesome.
That's so incredible. And to me, it seems like the only barrier to like this being all over the front page of everything is, not to be repetitive, but yeah, I guess I will speak on suppressed tech a little bit. I mean, we all know there's a state of commerce where we're kind of backed on certain things. We have fossil fuel economy to just change everything to frequency healing and such overnight would not be in the best interest of the tippity top 0.0001% or whatever of who's running this show. I think we all know that there's tech out there that not everybody has access or knowledge available to them on. But the fact that someone like yourself is moving forward doing this kind of stuff and it's not being met with ridicule and resistance and it's actually applauded. And like the first time I ever did anything like legitimate frequency healing was in, I think, 2011 or 12. I started using those it was called the VAT, vibroacoustic therapy.
Uh-huh.
And that was very cool. It was very interesting to me. It was just my first introduction. But now just to see the evolution, and it's the sky's truly the limit.
When someone says you are the light, I'm going to prove it right now. We're going to plug you in to the number one hospital technology in the 1920s. It's called a
Okay.
multi-wave oscillator, and I made it affordable for everyday people. This is something I made affordable multiple ways for everyday people.
Okay.
Nikola Tesla's own words, the number one health technology you can use is basically that light thing I just showed you at the beginning with the purple light in
Mm-hmm.
combination with this technology that's going to show you right now. And he says this was the whole future. So I'm actually going to, not only do we have our own products that make this, we actually made it happen. So it's really cool. And you are the light. So we can plug someone in this chair. And this is the number one technology to address cancer in the 19. We can turn on this light, and just to show you how it works, it's very powerful. It looks like this is just air.
It's like
But
a Tesla coil in your hand, but it's like a lightsaber. I feel like I'm watching a futuristic movie or something right now, but it's not. It's real life.
yeah, and it's these cylinders. This one right here is the transmitter. This is the receiver.
That's a receiver. Okay. Very
And
cool.
if you touch this, you will actually get shocked. So I always turn it off in case someone's walking by.
In case somebody accidentally walks in and gets the shock of a lifetime.
So this is
Well,
a
that's really cool.
vibroacoustic chair. This is a sit-in chamber. This is a 5D quantum resonant plate. So you know the
Okay.
semantic.
Yep. The cymatic plates where they put sand and play a frequency and it puts a shape, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we go up to the 60 hertz through the floor.
Okay.
And so this is a quantum resonant plate. It's our future. You know, we had this plate over here for 5 years as a standard RPM kind of resonant plate. But this is our new one, USA made quantum 5D resonant plate.
Very, very cool.
Shake
Very
up the
cool.
body.
So what's the application of that device there? Is that go along with the rest of the anti-aging stuff, or is it a different piece of is it a different
Yeah, we
yeah.
put our grounding on top of it. So that's
Okay.
how you saw that, the fabric.
That's why the mat was on there. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're resonating the body with the electrons. And so it's kind of like circuit training over here
Yeah.
is the best
That's
way
what
to.
that's
And we're going to send you home with a smile. You're going to be happy. You're not going to be thinking all these negative thoughts, and you're not going to think that it was this easy. Because really, stuff
right.
that we know, the people that know it's a lot easier than what we've been told. This is our
That's
basically lymphatic drainage system. It's
okay.
a
Wow.
fairly big system.
Yeah, that's the real deal there. So that's a lymphatic draining system, but that's only using frequency, correct? That's still utilizing the same technology. There's nothing invasive about that, right? Just to clarify, it's frequency, correct?
Well, we add frequency to it, but it has 9 technologies. It has the far infrared light as one of
Oh,
the
okay.
cores. It has
Easy.
chromio 7-octave light therapy frequency inside. It's got the gyromagnetic therapy, which is pulsating magnets, zone, ion. It has its 9 technologies. And just really quick, this is our
All
whole
all
system.
sound non-invasive. It sounds like nothing's going into anybody. Nobody's taking a pill. Nobody's taking an IV, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And this is their complementary technology. Now that we've shown you how to drain your lymphatic system, then you're ready for our Tesla MedBed. It's a holographic scan MedBed. And we don't have the scanner on at the moment, but it's on that TV in the back while they're using it. But
Wow.
this technology is pretty big. As you can see, it's all
Yeah.
digital and it doesn't end till right here. So it's this whole system, and this
Looks like
system
there's
likely is
somebody in
not.
there right now.
What'd you say?
There's somebody in there right now, it looks like.
Yeah, there's someone in there
That's
right
cool.
now.
That's good.
But
That's
likely
good.
that's the most powerful health technology on the planet. And I can honestly say that, and I have data to show that when you this is the breakthrough,
Yeah.
Tyler, when you combine multiple technologies within the same duration, the exponential rate of healing is so much higher, and we proved it with this machine right here. Like I showed you this Tesla plasma machine.
Right, and that's the one that's set up next to a bed, right? And it's your device, but I mean, not
It's
much
10
different than
times
sleeping on your bed as far as
it's
comfort
10
goes.
times more powerful when you add the light frequency with the sound and the direct current. So individually, it's like this is this is the theory that we had all the way to the Tesla medbed with 9 technologies. When you take a technology and use it on your own, likely it's only going to give you like a single digit increase possibly. But when you add them all, we're saying 30-40% increase in the overall change in the body in a couple
In
hours.
a minute or whatever, yeah. It's like, man, yeah, it's like way too fast. It's awesome.
So that was a little tour of some of our stuff, and I definitely want
Yeah,
to
I
show you guys that because no one gets to see it, and you won't know about it unless you try it.
absolutely. I appreciate you walking us around and showing us a little bit of what's move my mic there a little bit. I appreciate you walking us around and showing us a little bit about the facility there. And when I'm back in Florida, I will definitely be giving you a shout and say, "Hey, John, I'm back in Florida." And yeah,
Let's
we'll
set
link
it
up.
up.
I'll come check it out over there. We'll yeah, maybe we can make some cool content or something like that. But yeah, it's a really
If
cool thing
anyone
that
wants
you've
to
got
try
going
it,
on.
if someone wants to try this, like, whoa, I got to try that, or my dad's got cancer, or this, right? If you have our grounding technology, we do it for free up to 2 days now.
Okay.
We were doing 3 days, we were doing 5 days. Over the 6,000 people that came through our doors. You know, if you understand grounding, it's a lot less pressure on our staff. And so if you have the grounding, I'll take responsibility for your health, but you'll have to do it too. So we're actually just
Of
saying,
course.
trust our science, trust our website with the third party grounding study. That lets me know that you're taking responsibility. And when you come over here, I will throw it on you at such a level. Well, you'll have, no chance but to feel the results of a high energy.
Experience it. Yeah. And nothing like experiencing it to prove, to make a believer out of a skeptic. I mean, I'm not a
The
skeptic.
level, yeah, this is the level we had to go, and we're so passionate about this that literally, if we'd inspired anyone to run this path, it's only going to make everyone's lives better. Now we have kids. Now we have the that understand AI. Who knows what the future holds? But
Yeah.
literally did the heavy lifting over the years to get it to here. But we do have a solid foundation: the history, the science,
Yeah.
the measurability, the accountability, and that's why this is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it truly, truly is. I agree with you in everything you just said there. I've always found what you do to be very interesting. And, over the year or so that I've been aware of the clinic and everything, and of course, in the past few days, I've done a little bit of just looking at the website and to see if anything changed since the last time I looked at it and everything like that. And I mean, it's all very honest, and that's what I love about it. You're a very genuine individual. You're authentic. You're not selling snake oil, and you're not trying to be a doctor. There's a lot of that. You're a very genuine man. It's you do,
We're a product
and
manufacturer too,
we
so
haven't even gotten to one of your other endeavors, which is amazing. The Save the Bees charity, which isn't it like one of the largest in the world, or something like
well, in
that?
2018, 2017, 2018, where we made the biggest splash and saved the bees in the world.
It's
It's a
incredible.
very long story how it happened, but I was almost gonna give up, and the insanity was that I have letters from both presidents saying, "Stay out of a federal issue. You're just a single citizen. Just stop trying to save bees and stop calling Monsanto and stop raising hell." And I was just so pissed that bees were dying.
Keep raising hell.
Yeah, I was so pissed that bees were dying. I was like, that bee's life is more important than your politician ass life. So, uh,
Yeah,
I
a
was
lot of
going to the
cases.
White House every day, and then they were like, they sent me a letter, just basically, this is a federal issue. Like, just beat it, kid. You know. And I was like, that wasn't good enough, right?
No, not taking that answer.
But it was
That's a
really
great.
hard, and it was there's like sweating in a suit. And loving those bees was fun. I love this, and we got bees behind our facility here. But I
Yeah.
always want their lives to flourish. They don't say nothing, but without them, we don't survive.
Yeah.
All the high caliber foods that are nutritiously dense are pollinated with bees, and
All about
I've been to
bees.
China. So in China, they hand pollinate. Could you imagine realizing that without the pollinating, you take a feather and you
You
smack
got
it
you
all
got to do
across?
it yourself.
You gotta
Right.
do it yourself to make sure a tree has apples, you know?
Sounds like a little more work than us modern Americans are ready for. We're glad we have bees, whether we know it or not. And that's something that's become a little more mainstream, at least the idea that bees are a huge part of the larger ecosystem, that it's not just about honey. There's more at play there,
Well,
which
there's
I'm
a
glad to
funny story
see.
about how this happened too, because I remember I told you I was about ready to give up after 5 years, and about 4 or 5 years, and
Hmm.
essentially what happened was, I was selected for all my crazy work. I was Fox News bee guru for a little bit. I said
Okay.
I got
You're
to
the
the
bee
point
guy.
where I said GMO and pesticide almost every word as Fox Bees guru because they were clipping me. So I would do all this study and talk, and they would clip everything I said out, and they would sensationalize it.
Right.
So after a
Yeah.
couple times, I was like, "Okay, I got you. So I'm not gonna say anything without pesticides or GMOs, so you gotta put this on the list."
Monsanto a few times.
Yeah, so, basically what happened was they clipped me there too, and then I got really pissed, and I was, just saying, I mean, like, "You're not doing anything but sensationalizing bees. I'm supposed to be Fox News bee
Yeah.
guru, and you're not even talking about GMO, you're not talking about pesticides, so what am I doing here?" Like, we're
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a gimmick. It sounded like you were pulled in for like you probably felt like it was a little bit of a gimmick. Like, hey, I take this serious. This is important. Like, why are you chopping it up into quote unquote entertainment? Like, it's
Yeah.
important information.
All those killer
Yeah.
bees, they can kill you, like, that's what they took from it, like,
Yeah.
bees are dangerous, they can sting you, and I was like, "This is not Fox's bee guru kinda, talks, like, I'm done, and
Yeah.
this is stupid because you're not covering what I'm trying to do to save bees, you're covering,
You
sensationalization."
see it. You see an opportunity for sensationalism. Yeah. That's.
But,
Yeah.
the
That's
crazy thing is we had 1,000,000,000 impressions in 2 years. But the insanity of this is a crazy story, just I would say just laugh your ass off. Um, but, Pornhub chose me as the bee, like, our Save the Bees nonprofit, so that's how we had over 1,000,000,000 views in 2018, and I was like,
press
"This is taboo." I first said, "I'm not gonna do this," but then I knew that the president
the
didn't care what I
reach.
said. No country Pornhub did more than any country to save bees. And so I was thinking about it, and he goes, "Well, we only have 110,000,000 visitors a day," and I was like,
Only.
"About Save the Bees?" So, I was like, "Look, I'll do this. If you're saying that likely I'm the best candidate, and I'm saying this is actually taboo, I'm actually gonna do it." And so,
That's
basically, it was PG-13. It was basically bees on flowers with, narration by famous porn stars were narrating the bees, what they were doing. pollinating
Interesting.
a flower, and it was that many over a whole year's time. It was well over 1 billion views each year, and I was like,
That's
"This sucks."
incredible. That's incredible. That's incredible, like, as far as virility goes and just sheer exposure and numbers, but
That's crazy.
for an organization like Pornhub, which, is, of course, I mean, I don't have a personal opinion. I mean, people have their arguments about what, the porn industry, if it perpetuates trafficking and things like that. I mean, and truth be told, this isn't the forum for that at the moment.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
was
I
tough.
mean,
And then I was thinking, I'm not gonna do it, but really, if I talk to presidents and they said stay out of it, so bees, like saving bees in a nonprofit, they're not gonna
like,
stop
no,
pesticides,
yeah, the
you know?
government tells you, no, you cannot altruistically try to save the bees.
So it got a
Won't.
lot of views, and it made a lot of people aware with so much honey out there.
I applaud that, because a lot of ideas die on the vine. A lot of greatness. The phrase "quit before the miracle." I mean, a lot of ideas, a lot of people, many
We're the
times
number
quit
1
before
honey
the
in
miracle.
Florida now. I don't know if you knew this. We're the number 1 honey in Florida, like, the last 5 plus years.
Oh yeah,
It's a little
okay.
bee,
What's
I heart bees.
I heart
It's
bees?
a bag of
Okay,
honey. You'll see our logo.
sounds good.
And,
And we'll
honey
definitely
Florida
make sure
that
this is
really
all.
pushed us. We have now we have, the Adopt a Hive, and we've had that for 5 or 6 years. We have, over 1,600 hives here in Florida,
Oh
managed by beekeepers. So where it's a subcontracted managed by beekeepers.
yeah,
So
of
it's
course.
it's just, it's a tough industry. We, made all types of inventions, and our honey bag, made honey more affordable because it was in a BPA free bag. I know everyone's trying to get away from plastics, but it actually
Yeah,
saved $1 on a bag of, if you can think about it, honey's
a buck.
expensive already, so we saved an extra dollar plus, and so that
Yeah,
was
like per
really
unit.
became a
That's a
famous
huge
honey
deal.
brand on.
It's incredible. So you just the things that you've been involved in and the time that you've been involved in them for is like it's inspiring. I mean, you're the perfect person to come on a show like this, and I hope that some young person somewhere, young or old, somewhere, just gets a little inspired by individuals such as yourself that see that things sometimes do get tough. You might hit a place where, even the president tells you don't do that. And maybe it's Pornhub that's going to be the one to
You never
pu-
know.
push you into the stratosphere or whatever. But it's a lesson in so many things. I mean, obviously you're a true altruist. You've made great accomplishments to humanity in the time that you've been here, and you've got plenty more that you're working on. Of course, you're not done, and I'm looking forward to coming and seeing that clinic in person, which I will do. But it's inspiring to see people push past that point of, you said you almost gave up at a certain point, like with the bee charity, for example. People almost give up all the time, and personally, I think most people give up more often than not. I mean, that's the discipline wins out over motivation. Consistency and discipline win out over motivation and talent every time, most of the time.
Have you had an epiphany at such a level? Like, I experienced God and everything just from doing martial arts and eating healthy. When I told, everyone I had healed myself from a broken neck. This was 15 years after I broke my neck on my own move. I had to figure out trauma. I was looking at the ceiling every night for a decade trying to figure this out. It's not like I could sleep, so I was in that type of throbbing pain constantly. My pain became my purpose, and I didn't have options. And when I had this epiphany, I just experienced God real time, and basically I understood my life in a snapshot. And then the snapshot, it showed me, like, he showed me the direction that I should go, and I just didn't falter. And if I told you the other story I can't tell you, you would be like, "What? You did
I
like."
think that's something like
It's
that.
just like, I can't even say it because, I can't court order, gag, but I'm a champion
Yeah,
of
I'm
something.
under some NDAs myself.
And then basically, I just feel very fortunate in this direction I was running was like all the little breadcrumbs in life. You have an intention, a manifestation, but if
It all led to something.
don't let it go of the breadcrumb that's going to get you where your purpose and your mission goes. You know, you how do you decipher information of what anything is anymore? But I really do believe in, I call it urge over manifestation, but I really do believe you can urge anything into existence that you want. As long as you're there, you can ask any question, you can get any answer. But
Mhm.
also, when it comes to your whole life mission and purpose, like you got to see the breadcrumb and you have to be discern whether it's important or not. And that quick understanding will get you where you need to go.
100%. I agree with almost everything you've said. It's just, we have a very similar philosophy in a way we look at things. Now more than ever, discernment very important. The ability, not just having discernment, but having a very well exercised and ready to jump to position part of the brain that's just dedicated to discerning false from true. And we have so much thrown at us in the age of 2024, and then with AI, I mean, even myself, I get deep faked. I'll see a video of my own self talking about I'm not famous. I mean, I'm not famous, but I'll see a deep fake video of me advertising a product or a political candidate or something like that. Like that I never even knew the video was made. I mean, it's just as an example. And of course, I mean, the higher up you get in any industry, in any realm, in any culture, whatever it is that may be, with the tech we have now and the ability that we have to spread information so fast, this the ability to use critical thinking and discernment is so damn important. To just accept what's reported as truth, to just accept what we're told as fact is, I don't think it's ever been more dangerous. Because, I mean, I'm throwing 400 facts an hour, and probably 375 of them are just don't even have a grain of truth to them. There's a lot of bullshit out there. But it does become easier to use discernment and to look at things with a lens of critical thinking, of logic and truth, and from personal experience. And of course, where that leaves off is faith and that gut feeling that we all have, that innate feeling, whether you call it your gut feeling, whether you call it God, prana, quanta, Vishnu, quantum physics, magic. We're
That's
all
what I
talking about this.
mean too. And I say God is as well too. So
Yeah, we're all
I'm
talking about the same
spirituality
thing.
over religion.
Spirituality, God, religion. Religion, I think, is more refers to like, oh, what religion? Like, like which
Yeah,
which set which
creating
set
division.
of
Yeah.
yeah.
You in that one?
But
Oh, I'm over here. Okay, see you later.
just classic. I think and that's that's when we talk about that concept of ascension. To me, that's not just like this metaphorical concept of like an ascending soul. It can be practiced with discernment in our actual reality right now, like by realizing that, well, like I said earlier, there's a lot more of us than there is of them, quote unquote. Divide and conquer is alive and well, but divide and conquer only works if the people that are divided are aware of the falsely created division. Once we're aware of it, then it shouldn't work anymore. So I think that's what this ascension is kind of really a situation where I hope to see in my lifetime a breaking of those lines that divide us, so to speak. Yourself, what I do, and some of the people that I work with, people that are in the same kind of communities and such as I am, conspiracy theorists, truthers, whatever. A lot of people are coming from the same place, but there's division within communities, within people, within groups that likely started with the same intent. An intent of skepticism, healthy value placed on discernment and value placed on the truth, things like that. but then there's so many different places to get lost down that
Right.
way.
Yeah.
Having having conversations with people like me and just talking about this stuff and just showing the progress that we're making as individuals and as a group is important. I think people are becoming more susceptible to hearing these things. I mean, med tech, that's not something people would have jumped to listen to 20 years ago, but they just might now.
Yeah.
It's
Coming. It's coming fast, and this
the
is the
world's
future.
changing. It's a hell of a time to be alive. That's for sure. I do feel a little bit of a shiny red ball effect right now. I'm kind of like looking every which direction, but the one I'm told with what happened the other night at the I don't want to talk politics, but with what happened at the rally the other night, I can't help but wonder, like, all right, what was that? What am I
Right.
supposed to be? What am I not supposed to be looking at right now? That's quite the
Right.
shiny red ball on the news. But who knows?
Yeah.
It's all about this. It's constant discernment, and it can get overwhelming. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there
No
that,
one deserves to get shot, and there is some explaining people have to do, of course, and we may not have enough information, and so it's
yeah,
one of those things where you can kind of probably decipher, JFK got shot, you can think like, man, that something serious like that could jeopardize all of our progress for a short time. But I think that the progress that we have as a whole, community is gonna
I
be
agree.
important at the local level. That's really the only thing that should matter.
Truthfully,
Federal level,
at,
federal level is, they shouldn't have
at
too
the
much power over us. Hopefully,
I agree, and that's probably why we live in Florida.
yeah, we found
um,
ourselves
yeah,
here because it was a
we
little bit
found ourselves in that
easier.
nice place of states' rights. Yeah, it's one thing I do love about Florida is the states' rights. We have a lot of freedom in Florida in the sense of how we choose to live our life compared to some states, which is nice. But that stuff gets taken away slowly but surely, and before you know it, it's a world that you don't recognize. So that's why we stay vigilant and we have these conversations. John, it's been amazing to speak with you today. I think it'd be great to actually speak again, being that we are we're both
Yeah,
honestly we live about an hour away from each other. So I think
yeah,
it'd be cool to do something live at the clinic there in Orlando. It's a lot cooler than my house.
this is important, and everyone comes here and they're like, "Or I've been looking for this my whole life, and it was in Orlando." So we have like a toy kid in a candy store mentality here with all this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Because something like that was it caught some popularity recently was people buying like Rife machines on the internet and such, but I mean, they're not really Rife machines. They're the kind of the concept, but he didn't release his the actual frequencies he was using and the formulas he was using. He faked that stuff in the patent, so it couldn't be copied. So of course, some bright minds have come and tried to reproduce Rife machines and things like that, but
And they
yeah,
actually said that when they
people got
released
hurt.
this information, I believe they changed the frequencies. They didn't
Yep.
give you the exact frequency for sure. Yeah,
Nope, they did not. So you can't really make what it is. It's missing
you
that
can't
key
make
piece of
that. But
information.
the cool thing is, there's like in the full spectrum of frequencies, there are specific frequency bands. So you're talking, anywhere from
With
1,000
okay,
to 10,000 bands where it should be located. You know,
so it's not always like a specific single digit somewhere between 1 and 100,000. It's
it
tends to be a
could be
range
pretty
that you're
close,
looking for.
believe it or not, on some of them. So, like I said, we use complementary. And so also our larger machine, it goes back to the third decimal point to even get it closer.
Oh wow,
So yeah,
that's really
some of
that's
the some of the some of the frequencies are very specific, just like the cymatics that we're talking about. You're changing the pattern of one, and then that's kind of shaking off, rattling off a lot of the stuff. And that's where that when a biological cell is moving, and of course we all have water in our body, and if it's moving at a certain frequency, it's going to move differently. and because of
Yeah,
that, we're coming back into
absolutely.
harmony.
Frequency is hot right now. It's so hot right now. It's a buzzword. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the word of 2024. I mean, we
Yeah,
hear it in everything. I've been approached for so many things. Just frequency this, frequency that.
they
Record
say
this kind of
frequency with
frequency,
everything now. But I
and
hope all
it's
the listeners, like, you dialed into what I said because I'm right. I'll prove it to you.
yeah,
Prove like you can like
prove
this is pretty much basic science as well, but the
it.
frequencies all for physical regeneration. Our studies show that. So, but on the flip side, that only stays as good as long as your voltage is within range and balance.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You you take a lot of vitamins or something. You take natural supplements to you know have enough iron or have enough vitamin B and such. But if you don't drink any water and you take way too much iron and vitamin B, you're gonna get whatever problems are associated with having too much iron or too much vitamin B. You need to wash that out. And I guess that's kind of an analogy to with the frequency stuff. People are I guess the big message seems to be that people are negating the one or the other. They're not grounding. They're pumping up their frequency and not grounding. So there's no balance, or maybe they're not doing anything with frequency. And is it worth the other way where people are just grounding, walking around with bare feet, too much natural grounding and
Yeah,
not using any kind of frequency?
grounded. You'll be grounded like your mom said you're grounded, but you'll be grounded at a level that your body, the inflammation, the Wi-Fi hitting you is sinking through. So it's almost like grounding is a detoxification from the frequencies.
Right. And that's a really good point. There's still other toxins kind of hitting us. It's something that we don't, I mean, we're starting to think about more, but we're not ingesting them. But yeah, everywhere we are, there's Wi-Fi, there's satellite signals, there's EMFs, all sorts of stuff that we don't see with the naked eye. So that's a really good point.
The
Yeah.
creator,
Um,
the creator created all the frequencies. So we've only, as man, we've only been able to measure, monitor, and manage this frequency. So these were already here. So that's why I'm an open book. I'm not hiding behind no curtain. My cards are laid out in front of you today because
yeah.
my frequency's already out. I don't care if it's patented or not. It doesn't need to be patented because the standard unit of measure is hertz. So
Right.
that's what we use. So like why hide the fact that it's a basically
It's this
numerical.
number. And that's where I have faith. That's why it's why I have faith in us as a people, because there's people out there that believe in and are doing what you just said. And there's certain things that are just kind of universal. They're rather simple, and the benefits are just astronomical. Whether it was through suppression or through ignorance that we don't know about these things, I guess it doesn't really matter. What really matters now is that going forward, people like yourself and many other bright young minds and the kids out there who are just learning and reading their first book on Tesla, and they're 10 years old and they're like, oh my God, Nikola Tesla. Shout out to them. I mean, that's who we need. We need the visionaries. We need the dreamers. We need the people to stay consistent and really dig into the details and, get called crazy for a little while until they're right. And, and then they can go on the internet and post all their data. And then, that's where you're at. And I see big things. I mean, of course, you're already doing great, amazing things. Congratulations to you. But I can't see anything but growth and just positivity coming from you in the future. So that's absolutely incredible. I think the world's only just becoming more ready for this kind of thing. So I'm thankful for that. It's a good thing.
Thank you. Yeah,
Um,
it's a long time coming, and this is where my passion is, and I think a lot of people's is at. So, we're here to
yeah.
make a difference, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, if I was getting paid nothing, I would be doing the same. I would be here talking to you. So, yeah,
Yeah. It's,
basically, this
it's,
is my passion. I haven't really faltered. Put a lot of hours in. If anything, I would like to take a little bit of a break.
yeah, right. I feel like that sometimes too. I generally follow my passions, but then I look back and I'm like, wow, I've been following my passion for like 48 straight days. I should take a day off, or sometimes it's years. It just depends.
Like
But yeah,
started.
so I don't want to keep you too much longer. But John, what what I would like, I think would be really cool, would be to like I said, definitely set up a time. When I'm back in Florida, do something in person, get a little something going at the clinic, just touch base, anything like that. Just do a little showcase, a little promo.
It's coming up
And
good too because this week I'm pretty much exhausted the whole week already. I'll be
oh yeah, I'm not even in the state right now.
But yeah, but basically when you come back, the rest of the couple next months, let's figure something out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk a little bit more, in private. We don't got to give the whole audience this chat, but we'll talk about the Holistic Summit 25. If you'd like to get involved, if you'd like to find out, we can set up a meeting or a call on that. I'd love for you to be involved. You are the ultimate, can't you? The exact type of individual that we want to have involved. That is the visionaries behind these types of events. So we can definitely chat about that. And, I mean, just what you're working on is so incredible. I'm not against, if you ever want to hop on a live on Instagram just to kind of update what people on what you've got going on, to, just kind of plug your stuff. I'm going to put make sure I have all your links, your websites, any promo codes, anything like that. I noticed that you did financing too. So I just want to say that out loud because that's important to a lot of people. Um,
Yeah, it's
the
awesome.
anti-aging beds.
Code Tyler33
Yeah,
and everyone will get like 5% off. And I recommend getting the grounding accessory kit if you can. Get whatever you need. It starts at $99 for a grounding. But if you get something more than the $99, at least a pillowcase, blanket, pillowcase, you can actually do a demonstration here for free. You can set an appointment. As long as we don't have to cover grounding, another 2 or 3 hour conversation, you get
right.
it. Had this understanding, we will have you in. If you say Tyler's video, we will, and you understand grounding, we'll get you in here and you can actually experience this stuff for free.
I'd love to do that. And, to get a little demo for you if you're open to it, just to
Yeah,
share a
I bet
testimonial and the process and,
the number of people that went
spread the
viral,
word.
millions of views, I can't tell you. Like some people just come here and I'm gonna try this thing. Million views on TikTok. It's like, whoa.
Because
Uh,
it really is futuristic. It seems futuristic to people, which is funny because it's more like, I don't know, it's like Tesla was working on it 100 years ago. They just
that's so sick.
didn't. Yeah. But yeah, I've got a strong feeling that this is not where our conversations and relationships end. I would love to
Absolutely.
stay in touch with you.
I would love to get on the show and cover more specifics, but I think
Yeah,
this is a
absolutely.
very, we spent a lot of good time covering it. It's like amazing that we both had the time and thank you, so much, Tyler,
Yeah,
for getting me on your show. Awesome.
yeah, that's I'm blessed because I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I look forward to talking to you. When people say, "How much time do you have?" Usually, I have plenty. Because I'm doing I'm doing what I want to do. It's just happens to be a good thing. I think. Um,
That's great.
this the selfish part is I'm doing what I want to do, but I'm not hurting anybody. People are
You're
learning
doing a
about
good
med
job,
beds,
doing
and
an excellent job.
it's not
I
the worst thing in the world.
You're right there
So yeah,
with all the movers and shakers and this understanding of consciousness and interconnectedness, technology. It's amazing, even from food sources to energy to all this cool stuff.
there's there's so much. There's so many, and we need so many different experts. It needs to be compartmentalized. We need the mattress guy, and we need the seed guy, and we need you know, the plant medicine guy, and no, we need all of it, and we need. I mean, not all of it. I don't know if we need the flat Earth guy, or there's some things that maybe we don't. I don't know,
Yeah.
but we need a variety of talents and viewpoints, and it's not what we used to think it was, where we need a doctor and a lawyer and a businessman and an insurance salesman. And it's we need different personalities who can work together towards a better future that maybe something more like we actually want, we designed. We, the people, I mean. So with that, John Baxter, thank you so much for being here. Please, everybody, check out his website. It's in the bio. Antiagingbed.com, I believe, is the name. Is it antiaging.com or antiagingbed?
Anti-aging bed.
Link will be in the bio there. Please check it out because, I mean, not the only reason John's on here right now, but one of the biggest reasons is because check out that website. It's so legitimate. This is all completely researched. It's completely patented. There's no foolery here. It's just it's magic. It's magic. I'm finding myself saying that a lot these days, but I find when you open yourself up to magic, it does tend to happen a little bit more in your life. So, John, with that, we've had a little bit of a chat here. It's been a pleasure every moment. We will certainly do it again soon. Have you got anything you'd like to say before the...
No, I'd just like to say, thank you very much, of course, Tyler, and I look forward to doing more calls and educating, informing people all this stuff and how it works. Thank you for giving me the platform to talk about this unique item. And I think people, like I said, that are going through a health issue, you see the video, chair grounding, it's major health issue, you name it. You can try this stuff for free as a product demonstration to see if it couldn't address the health issue. So that's really why we're here, is to showcase that we've created a formula and a system, process, a story, historical, as long as current evidence based. A lot of cool stuff that you learn here, and it is an education. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what we
Yeah.
do.
Very well said. Plenty more great things to come from Mr. Baxter here. And thanks to all the viewers. You guys make the show possible, of course. Without any viewers, there's no show. So thank you so much. All past guests, future guests. Jane, my producer, you're amazing. Best producer in the game. You know that. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode, but you'll be seeing John on here again, so stay tuned. And, we got a few episodes coming out this week, at least 2 episodes a week for you. As always, this is Tyler, the Immersive Podcast, and we are signing off. Have a heck of a day. Cheers.